Hello everyone and welcome back to Movies with Mia. If you're new to the channel, hi! I'm Mia Tiffany, and here we are watching the greatest classic films throughout history. Today we are watching the iconic Universal monster film, Dracula. Now before we get into it, I'd like to shout out my Golden Oscar patrons. Guys, thank you so much for your continued support of the channel. And if you're interested in becoming an exclusive VIP Tiffany Club member, then please check out that Patreon link, which is in the description box below. If you're not quite interested in becoming a patron, however you still want to support the channel, why not consider buying a movie ticket? Movie tickets are donations used to support the channel, especially supporting our new editor. So if you're interested in donating to the channel, head on over to www.buymeacoffee.com/Mia Tiffany. Now, speaking of our new editor, we do have one. His name is Zach, and he has been such a huge help getting all of these videos edited and to you in a timely manner. So please share some love, share some thanks in the comments. Also check out his channel, Zank Films, where he reviews movies. So if that sounds of interest to you, please check out Zank Films. Also, I linked his social media down in the description. Check him out, send him some love, send him some thanks, and thank you so much, Zach. Dracula was released in 1931, directed by Todd Browning, starring the famous Bela Lugosi, David Manners, Helen Chandler, Dwight Frye, and Edward von Sloan. At this point, we are going to get into some historical background. For those of you who want to jump right onto the film reaction, go for it. But for those of you who want to stay, we're going to get right into it. Dracula was based on the 1924 stage play, which was adapted from Bram Stoker's novel of the same name, written in 1897. There was an attempt to adapt Bram Stoker's novel into a movie, and for those of you who have seen my reaction to Nosferatu, you know a little bit more about what happened in that situation. But of course, the rights were illegally obtained to try and create that movie. Now, in the case of this adaptation, Universal Studios legally bought the rights to both the novel and the stage play for $40,000 so they could have full and exclusive rights to the character of Dracula. The producer believed that Dracula had the potential to make it big in the box office and be a big hit with audiences, so he spared no expense for this film's production, even going so far as to hire Pulitzer Prize-winning novelist Louis Bloomfield to flesh out a screenplay. Now, the next major move was to find an actor to play the titular character. Bela Lugosi was not the first choice for Dracula, even though he originated the character on Broadway. Originally, the role was meant for Conrad Veidt. I hope I said his last name right, but he was not confident in his English to do American talkie films, so he ended up going back to Germany. The next actor to be considered for the role of Dracula was Lon Chaney, who had starred in films for Universal such as The Hunchback of Notre Dame and The Phantom of the Opera. But unfortunately, Chaney passed away before he was able to be cast in the film. Producers naturally wanted a film actor to star in the film version, obviously, so they considered actors such as Paul Muni and Chester Morris. Lugosi fought hard for the role of Dracula, even going so far as to taking a significantly lower pay salary, which in part was one of the reasons why he ended up getting the role of Dracula. And of course, as it always goes, this was Lugosi's most iconic and memorable role of his entire career. Alright guys, on to some interesting facts. So principal filming for Dracula started on September 29th, 1930. According to sources, this production was completely disorganized. Todd Browning would regularly leave cinematographer Carl Freund to act as director for the 36th day schedule. So basically, Carl Freund was sort of like an uncredited director on this film. Todd Browning cast Helen Chandler in the role of Mina after seeing her in the 1928 stage play titled The Silent House. Now, the funny thing is that Helen Chandler would actually become the highest paid cast member on production. Now, Bela Lugosi would go on to make 70 more films within his career, but none more so as iconic as Dracula, as I mentioned earlier. Lugosi took the character into his private life as well, often appearing publicly in full vamp glam. Now, it's even said, and I don't know if this is true, but it is said that when he died, he was actually buried in the Dracula cape, which I feel like is kind of morbid but also extremely fitting. Finally, Universal had been eager to create Dracula long before it actually came out in 1931, but unfortunately script readers found the content to be too vulgar. But again, as it goes, Dracula would end up being a smash hit with audiences and would end up ushering in a new era of Universal monster flicks like Frankenstein, The Mummy, even that werewolf one, which I can't remember the name of, but it sparked a complete monster craze in the 1930s. With that being said, this is my first time watching Dracula and I am so excited to dive right in. But before we do, guys, y'all know the deal. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification to stay in the loop. Alright guys, it is time to grab your snacks, grab your drinks, and let's get into Dracula. Oh my gosh, here we go. This is happening. This is really actually happening right now. Okay, already loving this backdrop here. Very well sketched. Oh, we see this beautiful carriage coming. Probably wonder who it is. It looks like that's a pretty small town.
Oh, I say, Porter, don't take my luggage down. I'm going on to Borgo Pass tonight.
Love the camera movement here. Very cool.
No, please, put that back up there.
And who is this dapper man?
He is afraid while Porgy's night. Good fellow he is. He wants me to ask if you can wait and go on after sunrise.
Well, I'm sorry, but there's a carriage meeting me at Borgo Pass at midnight.
Borgo Pass?
Borgo Pass?
Whose carriage?
Count Dracula.
Why do you want to go to Borgo Pass?
Count Dracula.
Oh my god, his whole face changed when he said Dracula! Look.
At the castle there are vampires. Dracula and his wives, they take the form of wolves.
Of wolves.
I've got to go, really.
He's so chipper.
For your mother's sake.
Gotta get the cross, bro. Keep that protection on you, man. I feel almost like his demeanor completely contrasts the rest of these townspeople. Obviously so, because the townspeople live here. You know, they know the folklore of Dracula. But I do love that he kind of stands out. Like, he's just very chipper and happy. And then everyone around him is like, you want to go to Castle Dracula? And they just feel very dark, you know? I don't know. Personal thing that I really like.
The coach from Count
Eyes
Dracula.
glow. I love how Lugosi is creating this character of Dracula. No talking, just all movement, and very slow movement too. You know, he doesn't need to be quick. You know, he's very slow. You know, I really like that. The fact that this is a talkie and we get a little bit more dialogue, I think it really helps kind of further the story a little bit of Dracula for those people who like read the book and now they get to kind of watch it in real time. I think that it might have been a little easier. Yeah, I don't know. I just really like it. There you go. And his castle, I mean, is so beautiful. The way that they've constructed it. The set design is beautiful. Oh, they have armadillos. Hi. Never seen one of those ever, like, moving. I've only seen them in, like, still pictures. Oh, the giant spider web right there, too. It's so sick. Like, what creature is gonna make that big of a spider web? Can anyone tell me that? My god, that's terrifying.
I am Dracula.
Dracula. Perfect opening line.
It's really good to see you. I thought I was in the wrong place.
I bid you welcome.
Oh my gosh, so I wonder if Bela Lugosi was the first to kind of give Dracula the iconic, I'm Count Dracula, like the accent. So I wonder if it was just because he just has an accent. That creature is not big enough, bro.
Spinning his web for the unwary fly. The blood is the light, Mr. Renfield.
Oh, that's Renfield.
Yes.
This is so, for me, this is awesome because this is like iconic Count Dracula. Like every single thing you've heard about Dracula, the accent, the demeanor, all of the characters comes from obviously Bram Stoker's Dracula, but visually speaking, from this original Dracula film. Like, isn't that so cool? And the fact that we are able to still sit here and watch it, like, for me, this is such a treat. I don't know about you guys, but this is such a treat.
I'm sure you will find this part of my castle more inviting.
Well, rather. It's quite different from outside.
I didn't know but that you might be hungry.
Thank you. That's very kind of you.
I took the liberty of having your luggage brought up.
Okay, I know it's stupid, and I know I literally paused the movie for this, but I had to put on the cape, okay? The rest of the film, we're watching it with the Dracula cape on. I'm sorry, it's happening.
Now, if you're not too fatigued, I would like to discuss the lease on Carfax Abbey.
Everything is in order, awaiting your signature.
Oh my god, love the silver lighting on his eyes.
I have chartered a ship to take us to England. We will be leaving tomorrow evening.
Even the cadence of his voice, everything about him is Dracula, you know? It's amazing.
Ouch.
Oh my god. Oh, but the cross.
Oh, it's nothing serious, just a small cut from that paperclip.
One thing, again, that I do love about early movies right after silent films is that you do get the best of both worlds. You get talkies, the dialogue, but you still get elements of a silent film. You know, the makeup, sometimes even like we saw the title cards, the very overdramatic acting. It's such an interesting time in the evolution of cinema. I think it's so fantastic. And I just wanted to point that out. Oh my god, that's so terrifying.
Why,
The contortion of his
Look at his
face.
eye. Why, the man's gone crazy.
Oh my god, that is terrifying. That scene of him completely like lost his mind, fantastic acting on his part. Wow.
Dr. Stewart, you're wanted on the telephone.
I could not help overhearing your name. Might I inquire if you are the Dr. Stewart whose sanitarium is at Whitby?
Why, yes.
I'm Count Dracula.
May I present my daughter, Mina?
Oh, she's beautiful.
Count Dracula.
Count Dracula's just taken Carfax Abbey.
Oh, it'll be a relief to see lights in those dismal old windows.
It will indeed. You'll excuse me, I'm wanted on the telephone.
In Nosferatu, the Nosferatu, or the vampire, was very like creature-like. Bela Lugosi really has a chance to give Dracula more character, more human qualities, you know? So it makes more sense that people kind of fall for his charm and his wit, you know? I really appreciate that about this film.
It reminds me of the broken bottom of my own castle in Transylvania. Oh, Lucy, you're so romantic.
So romantic. That's what you think until you realize what he is.
Dracula, Transylvania. Well, Countess, I'll leave you to your count and his ruined abbey.
They're like all thinking about him like he's romantic. He's like a creature of the night. But nowadays you think of vampires and they've been so romanticized in, you know, cinema that you're like, oh my god, Edward Cullen, you know? It's the bat. The bat watches the woman. Why would you sleep with your window open though? I don't get that. Like, even if you're on the second floor, don't do that. Things could fly in. Like this bat, for instance. Here's the freaking... It's like the fingers themselves are like its own character. They're their own characters. I shall feast on your blood. It's kind of like, oh. A little sensual. I don't know. Is that just me?
Another death. Dead. Dr. Seward, when did Miss Weston have the last transfusion?
About 4 hours ago.
A natural loss of blood, which we've been powerless to check.
On the throat of each victim, same 2 marks.
The 2 marks from the vampire fangs.
The vampire attacks the throat. It leaves 2 little wounds, white with red centers.
I love that they don't question his sanity because he's like a man of science. So clearly he must know the truth, right?
The vampire's a pure myth, superstition.
Oh, here we go. Okay, there's some questioning there.
That the superstition of yesterday can become the scientific reality of today.
Well, Mr. Renfield, you are looking much better than you did this morning when I arrived.
Thanks, I'm feeling much better.
So is he a halfling or is he a full vampire?
Hands to yourself. Now, Renfield.
Or is he just crazy? You know, I don't know.
Oh, Dr. Seward, send me away from this place. Send me far away. My cries at night, they might disturb Miss Mina.
Eh?
They might give her bad dreams, Professor Van Helsing.
And we know how we can make them stop.
You know too much to live.
So here's another question, because I know Van Helsing, obviously in the book, he was, I believe, well, from what the movie's telling me, I believe he was a professor, but somewhere down the timeline, I know that he kind of morphed into like a vampire hunter. Now, I don't know if that's just because of that one movie with, I think, Hugh Jackman, like they decided to turn Van Helsing into a vampire hunter, or if that was kind of like something that started and then propelled that film. I don't know. If you guys know more information on that, that'd be really cool to hear in the comments. But it is interesting that he is still kind of trying to, in a way, defeat the vampires or kind of like figure them out so he can kind of stop this, even though he's a scientist and not a vampire hunter. I think that that's kind of cool.
When the dream came, it seemed the whole room was filled with mist. And then I saw
He is
two red
dashing.
eyes
Wow.
staring at me.
Dear, it was only a dream.
And then in the morning, I felt so weak.
Is there anything that might have brought this dream on?
Except for leaving your window open while you're sleeping, which you should never do.
And the face in the dream, you say it seemed to come closer and closer. The lips touched you. Where? Is there anything the matter with your throat?
Oh, no, but I...
Permit.
Yeah,
No,
let's go ahead and
please.
see that. Yep, open it right up.
How long have you had those little marks?
Marks? What could have caused them, Professor?
Count Dracula.
I thought that you were, like, a vampire wasn't allowed to come into your house unless you invited them in. So how the hell is he getting into their houses and, like, terrorizing them? Like, what's going on here? I thought that's how you warded off, you know, the bad vampires. I don't know. Like, I feel like if a vampire ever attacked me, I wouldn't be ready, because I don't even know if what I know is true about vampires anymore, you know?
Excuse me, Count Dracula, Professor Van Helsing.
Van Helsing,
Right
a
one,
most
man.
distinguished scientist, whose name we know, even in the wild Transylvania.
He's like, oh, I know you, Van Helsing. I know you
had a
well.
bad dream a few nights ago.
Oh, no.
And I don't seem to be able to get it out of my mind.
I hope you haven't taken my stories too seriously.
Stories?
In my humble effort to amuse your fiancée, Mr. Harker, I was telling her some rather grim tales of my far-off country.
I can imagine.
Like, you were getting a little close with my fiance, buddy. Back off, pal.
I can quite
Oh,
understand.
you can't see his reflection because he's a vampire.
I'm afraid it's quite serious.
Like, oh my god, he's a vampire. I can't see his reflection.
Before you go, you can be of definite service.
Anything I can
Discovered
do.
you.
Gladly.
A moment ago, I stumbled upon a most amazing phenomenon. Something so incredible, I mistrust my own judgment.
Look in the mirror. Oh, you've been discovered, buddy. Or they're onto you, at least.
Van Helsing.
Now that you have learned what you have learned, it would be well for you to return to your own country.
I prefer to remain and
Sir.
protect those whom you would destroy.
It's about to be a
You
freaking
are
showdown,
too late.
bro.
My blood now flows through her veins. She will live through the centuries to come, as I have lived. If she dies by day, but I shall see that she dies by night.
I will find your earthbuck and drive that stake through your heart.
I love that this sort of showdown is being done in dialogue and not action, you know? It feels very intellectual. I love the door to freaking Count Dracula. Maybe this is a trap, though, that they set. And when he drinks her blood again, maybe there's like wolfsbane infused into her freaking blood. I don't think that's the case, but, you know, it'd be cool if it was. Oh, how is this gonna end, bro? Like, there's literally no happy ending thus far.
That's Renfield. What's he doing at the Abbey?
Come, Mr. Harker.
Oh my god, he's freaking compulsed her. His fourth bride. I wonder why, though, he decided to prey on Mina. Like, that's interesting. Maybe because she was, like, a helpless person? I don't know. Renfield. And she's totally in a trance, like, totally not there.
Master, I'm here.
Where else would he be going but to Dracula?
Oh my god, the slowness of the pacing of this is so, like, I'm on the edge of my seat. Like, what's gonna happen?
Oh, no, don't. Don't kill me. Let me live, please. Punish me, torture me, but let
It's
me
just all-
live. I can't die with all those lives on my conscience. All that blood on my head. Ah!
It's the fingers and the slowness. Oh, Renfield. Oh, now he's getting all fast suddenly. No, don't.
We have him trapped. Oh, day is breaking. We have him trapped. Oh, we're killing him. Mina. Mina.
Mina. I feel like this particular set design has elements of German expressionism, which I believe was a huge influence of these Universal monster films, specifically with Dracula and Frankenstein. Also because it has that sort of like mood, that theme of isolation. These monsters have a sort of isolating life. So I think that that really works well for this film and its production design. But I'm really noticing a lot of those elements, which I really appreciate. I really love it. And it looks really beautiful in black and white. Mina's a goner, bro. Y'all are too damn slow.
Harker! Come! Here! Here, Harker!
He did not bury her in that freaking coffin, bro. Okay, where's your stake? Now just stake, he's sleeping. Stake him in the heart. And we're gonna close the freaking coffin.
Get me a piece of stone to help me drive the stake through their hearts.
There? Plural? Both? Oh, man. He's gonna have to kill the love of his life. This is not how I thought this was gonna go. I thought we were gonna have a nice little happy ending. They don't show her. I wonder why.
How does she?
He is not here.
Oh.
Then she may be alive.
Okay, drive the stake in Dracula's heart so he doesn't get up and beat on you. Come on, guys. He's got it. Go, Van Helsing. And so is the end of Count Dracula. Oh, she feels it. Oh no, please don't die. Mina. We've been through so much, Mina.
Mina! Mina!
Oh god.
Mina!
I heard
saved.
you calling, but I couldn't say anything.
We thought he'd killed you, dear.
The daylight stopped you. Oh, if you could have
We
seen
made it to the
look on his
daylight.
face.
There's nothing more to fear, Miss Mina. Dracula is dead forever.
And they end up together, leaving the dungeon of hell. Well, thank God that kind of ended in a happy ending, because I don't know what I would have done. Really took you all the way to the end there. Honestly, guys, I was at the edge of my seat till the very end. I'm thinking like, Mina's transforming into a vampire. Frickin' Dracula is running rampant around London. What's gonna happen at the end? I figured it was gonna be a happy ending. I hoped it was gonna be a happy ending, okay? Because we've already been through this whole entire vampire who's like preying on innocent people. The least they can give us is a happy ending, right? But wow, I really loved that film. I loved the elements of German expressionism and the production design. I think it was very beautiful. I really loved Bela Lugosi as Dracula. The OG Dracula was so scary, and he didn't do much. It was just his cadence, his pacing, his movements, very slow. And like when he extended his fingers, he didn't even need like prosthetics. Like when he extended his fingers over his victims, it was chilling, you know? I really loved that. I loved his costuming as well. He was obviously, Dracula, we know, is from a completely different time. And you did get that sense that even though he was wearing clothes of the era of the 1930s, you still felt like he was slightly out of place, you know? Wow, he was amazing. And the entire movie, I was wondering, like, what did Bela Lugosi do after Dracula? Like, what did he play? Like, what could he have played? Because, like, he is the face of Dracula at this point, right? Wow, that was amazing. I really love that. And I love that that sort of eventually kind of carries into the Universal monster universe, you know? I know that they make some sequels with Dracula as well as with Frankenstein and other monsters kind of coming together in the same universe. I think that's really cool. But yeah, overall, that was such a great film. I can only imagine what audiences were feeling, especially with the fact that there was no music, though I don't think, obviously at the time, they weren't used to that sort of, well, no, because they did have orchestras playing in the silent films, but there was no music. So I wonder if they played orchestra over that or if they just left it silent. I don't know. But either way, it was chilling. It was perfect for Halloween. Thank you guys so much for watching it with me. All right, everyone, that does it for this video. As always, if you liked it as much as I did, please give it a thumbs up. Also, if you would like to become an official Tiffany Club member, then please hit that subscribe button and that bell notification to stay in the loop. If you would like to see this film's full reaction, you will find it on my Patreon, as well as our Flick Pick polls, which allow you to vote for future videos. I also do have a few Patreon-only reactions, so check that out. And I hold my bi-weekly MWM live watch parties, where every other Saturday night at 5 p.m. Arizona time, we come together and we watch one classic film live via Zoom. So if any of that sounds of interest to you, then please check out that Patreon link, which is in the description box below. In the next video, we are going to be watching a film that we were supposed to be watching this week, but I was having some technical issues with that video. So we are going to be watching the film Night of the Hunter, which I am so excited to watch. If you have not seen Night of the Hunter, then please check it out in its entirety, or just read a quick synopsis of it online before checking out the reaction video with me. And if you want to know where I bought my physical copy, I have linked that down in the description below, as well as where you can stream it online. Now, I am trying to figure out how to get a new form ready for you guys so you can submit your recommendations. But for now, if you have any recommendations for any classic Hollywood films, please just let me know in the comments. If you are not quite sure of what I've reacted to on the channel, fear not, I do have a LetterBoxd, which I do have to update, so I will update that. But it is under the handle at Mamma Mia Tiffany. There you will find a list of all of the videos that I have reacted to on the channel, so check that out. And while you're on social media, why not consider following me on Facebook and Twitter, or X now as they call it, at Movies with Mia, and on Instagram and TikTok at movieswithmia_. Alright guys, this has been such a fantastic time. Thank you all so much for watching. It has been such a pleasure. Please stay safe and healthy out there, and I'll see you, boo, in the next video. Bye everyone. Alright guys, it is time. Let's get into Dracula. This is so in my face. This is so imposing. I feel like the microphone is dominating my entire screen. Like you can just, that's all you see. You don't even see me. It's just all the microphone. I don't know why it feels so big. If you're not quite interested in joining the Patreon, that sounded weird. Why not consider buying one more time for good posterity, for posterity. Go to www.buymeamovieticket.com. Dracula was based on the 1924 stage play, which was adapted from the 1897. Already messing up. But unfortunately, it obviously was illegal. Let me try it again. That was all wrong. Pulitzer Prize winning novelist. God, that is such a flex. Okay, one more time. And hit that bell notification button. I don't even know what I say. Yay, that was good. Okay.